Okay, we're ready.
We're ready.
Right. We are live. We are live. Actually, I don't know if we are live. It's not saying we're live. But it's... End stream. No, I think we're live.
Hurrah! We're on.
Let me just check.
Check. I'm ready. I'm ready. I've got my cup of tea. I'm ready.
We're ready. There we are. See, it did that delay thing again. As soon as I press live, we start talking, but it always seems to pick up the 10 seconds before. It's like a magician. It's like looking at us before we're even live. Anyway, hello, lovely YouTuber. Hello, lovely Gary. How are you this morning?
I'm okay. I'm okay. I was just saying, it's a little bit cold. It's getting colder here in the UK.
Baby, it's cold outside. You should be able to do the other bit now. The duet.
I can't do that.
There's something a bit dodgy about that song, I think, actually, Gary. If you listen to it, because the girl's wanting to leave, the boy's going, no, take your coat off. She's going, no, I want to go. Something a little bit odd.
Now it sounds all a bit sinister. Now I'm now going to listen to that. I'm going to now listen to that track and just think, oh, turn it off.
Nobody will ever listen to that Christmas tune again now.
Thank you for that.
You're welcome. Welcome for putting a dampener on there. So hello, lovely YouTubers. And I have to say a big shout out to our first ever patron. Yes, she's called Rachel. It wasn't me. I didn't buy us a coffee. I know.
Oh, that's so kind. That's so lovely.
It's so kind.
And actually, you know, when someone buys you a cup of coffee on that, Patreon site, it just makes you feel, because we do put a bit of thought and effort behind this and discuss and plan. And I just think, oh, it's just so worth it. And actually to think that we're coming to someone, because I always think of we've just got one other person in the room. And it's just really nice that they're really enjoying coming into our company and maybe doing a little bit of crafting, a little bit of doing something. And that's amazing. Brilliant.
Yeah, it is. And she said some lovely things to us as well. She's Instagrammed me and said that she feels like we've given her a mojo back. She started crafting again, and she just really feels connected to us. And it's very funny because she said, because she's called Rachel, whenever you say, Rachel, are you getting on? She always goes, I'm doing all right, Gary, I'm doing all right. And she just loves it. But she hit that buy a coffee button, and that's very, very kind. And I was blown away. And then she was blown away that I said thank you. And then I was blown away that she was like so grateful that I was saying thankful. It was paying it forward, it's called. We were just both sitting there in gratitude, which is the theme of the mindfulness that I want to talk about at the beginning here.
Okay.
So anybody who's new to our channel, we are going to be doing some crafting in a second, and I will put the time codes underneath after the live so you can skip all this nonsense and go straight to the crafting if you would like. But Gary and I always do a little bit of mindfulness at the beginning. We just, we don't sit here going, maybe we do that in private. No, we just talk about something which maybe will lift your spirits or enlighten you, or, just do something nice for you for the day. And so we always have a little chat. And sometimes Gary will throw something at me or I will throw something at him. We always have our tea. I've cheated today. I'm sorry. I've got coffee. And in honor of Rachel, who is American, she doesn't live in LA, but I brought my LA mug. And I actually bought this in LA when I went there aspiring to be an actress. Yes, it was a hopes and dreams mug. And here I am living my hopes and dreams, drinking out of it.
Exactly. Oh, that's good. That's so cool. What a cool mug.
I know, it's a great mug. I just found it today. Yeah. I'm probably drinking a lot of dust in that coffee, but never mind. So here we are. So lovely, Gary. The theme of our crafting day today, we should say as well, is how you can make some lovely little homemade gifts for your friends and family. I have got a raft of stuff. I'm going to put loads of links underneath as well. I mean, there are so many great ideas that have been coming in from our wonderful teachers here at Crafty Monkeys. So thank you to all of them, and I'll name check them later. And you, I believe, Gary, are going to be actually doing something for us as well. Is that right?
Yes. So I'm going to show you, I'm not going to show you right yet, but I'm going to show you a little thing that I've put together, made, and there's going to be a free download for anyone that wants to make it themselves. So I'll go through the making process. It's so simple. And again, it's just something ready for Christmas.
Exactly. So there you go. So that's what's coming up. But let's just do a couple of minutes briefly. I saw something this week. I think you would love it, actually, Gary, and you must go and check it out. It's on Netflix and it's a documentary. It's called Stutz, Stutz, and it's directed and produced and presented by Jonah Hill. Of course, Jonah was in the film Moneyball, I think, and various other things. And he's a great Hollywood actor, but he's in therapy. So he has decided to do a film about his therapist, who is called Phil Stutz. And Phil is 74. He's got Parkinson's, still operating, still doing his therapy. And he gives these clients these little drawings to take away, and then they look at the drawings and it references what they've been talking about. But he has various systems to help you with your depressions, anxieties, or behavioral patterns. And it's absolutely superb. It was a friend that recommended it to me. It's a superb documentary. I recommend anybody to watch it on Netflix. Bit weird, and about sort of 10-15 minutes in, you go, what is happening here? All I will say is a wig is involved. No monitoring anymore. You just go, hello. But then it's actually very clever, because it's about exposing yourself and being vulnerable, which is what we need to be in life. However, there was one exercise that he did, and I thought this is such a great exercise to share, and I'm sure that they wouldn't mind me sharing it because I've given them full credit, nothing to do with me. It was on that documentary. And it was, as we're talking about there, giving gratitude in life. If you are grateful in your life, if you have gratitude for things in your life, it will help you to potentially feel better in terms of, you know, if we all have problems. And if you sit here and you hey, there were times in my life I used to go, I hate my life, which is a terrible thing to say, but I could not see the blue sky. And Phil talks about always being blue sky up there. It's just covered by the cloud, which is what you said in our last chat.
Yeah.
But he did this terrific exercise. And basically what he said is, when you are feeling, and you know, you need to get, it's called the gratitude flow, I believe. And it basically gets through that grey cloud to the sun. But how do you push through that cloud? Because when those clouds are there and they're black and they're really heavy, it's impossible sometimes to get through them. So he said, what you do is you sit there, and I might be paraphrasing a bit here, and you close your eyes and you speak out loud 3 things or people or anything. It could be the fact that you've just eaten a crumpet with jam and butter. It could be anything. 3 things that you are grateful for. And you close your eyes and you really feel it. And you say out loud, I'm grateful for the crumpet I've just eaten. I'm grateful for the fact that I've got a great friend called Gary who does these Zooms for nothing with me, these YouTubes. And we have a wonderful time. And I'm grateful for the family that I still have in my life, because I've experienced a bereavement this year, but I've still got other people in my life. Okay, great. Keep going. Now you keep your eyes closed. Now you say a stream of things in your mind. Don't speak it, what you're grateful for. And it's got to be quick. So I'm grateful for, you know, the fact that I have a roof over the head. I'm grateful for the fact that I've got amazing friends. I'm grateful for the fact that I have food to eat. I'm grateful for the fact that I can get in my car and go. You just say these things, I'm grateful, 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 grateful. Then you stop listing them, but you keep that feeling inside of gratitude. And so it almost begins to explode out of you, because you're not able to say what you're grateful for, but you want to say what you're grateful for. You want to keep that stream going. So you keep that feeling, I'm grateful. And it's like this. And then you open your eyes and it's like, woof, the feeling just comes out. And you feel that warmth and you feel that love and that gratitude. And then you try and remember that feeling and you carry that with you. And you go on through your day. And at moments, if you're struggling, go to the toilet. If you're at work, go to the toilet, sit on the toilet, do the exercise very quietly. You don't have to shout it out, you whisper in the toilet. I'm grateful for da, 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 da. And you know something, Gary? I sat and did it in the documentary. It was marvelous. It was really marvelous, because it made me think about all the things I was grateful for, and I had this wonderful glow. And I really was like, I was actually shouting at the screen, yes, 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 Phil Stutz. Thank you for that free therapy session that you probably charge a fortune for in LA. So yeah. It was great. So there you go. And I think that that's what we all need to have, Gary, is gratitude for the great things in our lives. And I know there's a lot of rubbish stuff in life, and there's a lot of rubbish things in the world, and there are very tough times, but you have to have gratitude And even the people who are in the darkest times of their life, and I've read books about people who've gone through immense suffering, they all say that one thing that kept them going was gratitude for at least something they could hold on to. Even if it's the fact that, okay, I am grateful that I am alive. I'm grateful I'm alive, because you're only here once, allegedly. Allegedly. So there you go.
I was going to say, you know, when you're in that, like that dark cloud over, you can't see anything. You forget. I can't remember what it is to be grateful. Yeah. I can't remember it. I can't recall what it is to be grateful. So what that does is that exercise is just the most simplest thing, builds upon that and builds upon more and more. And so, like you say, almost like exploding with it, but hold on to that feeling of gratefulness, so that maybe the next day you might have to do it again. You might have to do it 3 or 4 times, that exercise, but then just the remembering of the feeling of being grateful is enough.
And it starts to become just inside you. And I mean, you know, I saw a hypnotherapist once who told me very something to do. Every night, write a gratitude journal. He said, and all you do is you get a piece of paper and you write down 5 things you're grateful for. He said, if it's just 5 words, 5 things, he said, and you have to do it every night. He said, and what happens is the brain brain's quite lazy, and it just goes, oh, do we have to do this tonight? So what it starts doing in the daytime is doing its homework for you. So in the daytime, it starts pointing out, that's something to be grateful for there. And guess what? It makes you feel happy. And then you start feeling that happy in the daytime, because the brain is doing the homework for you in the daytime, not just at nighttime. It's clever, works.
Yeah, very clever. And I mean, I'm a great advocate of, you know, like doing a gratitude journal, you know, and just finding 10 things. But sometimes you can struggle with the 10 things. I think the one that you've just described, when you just got to find 3 things, and then you just spill out anything that comes out of your mouth. So it doesn't matter.
You can do this anyway. Do it on the bus. Just literally mouth out of the window.
Someone might not sit next to you on the bus and be like, oh, I can't get out here because I'm talking to myself.
Yeah, and then you can say, I'm grateful I've got a space next to me now and not him. There you go. Give gratitude. And good things will come back to you, just like Rachel and I did when we were just both connected. And then she, you know, she bought us a coffee, and then I said thank you, and then she was thank youing back, and she just said, you just, you know, she sent me a little gif of someone crying happy tears and said, you've made me so happy. And that, as we've always said, Gary, we haven't got millions of YouTube followers, but as long as we've affected one person's life, we've done our business, we've done our job, and we've done it.
Yeah, we have. So
without further ado, and by the way, if you are here, Brenda is here. Hello, Brenda.
Hello, Brenda.
Hey, Brenda. If anybody is on the chat, we'd love to hear from you. So please do pop something in the chat. It is lovely to have your company. So, right, for Brenda and everybody else then, shall we begin our crafting journey? Shall we talk, first of all, before we do the little crafty thing, about some great things that you can make for people or give to people. And these don't have to be sewists or crafty folk. These are just little, if you're a crafty or sewer person, you can make these things for other people. And actually, you don't even have to be that. Some of the things I've found, you don't have to be particularly artistic or creative, but there are just some great ideas. So the first thing I'm going to do, now I've never done this on YouTube, Gary, but
fingers.
I know, I'm going to attempt to share my screen.
Look out. Oh, it's done it.
Done it. Now there we are. I'm hoping that this is now live on YouTube. I'll see in a second. So I've just picked out some things here that some of our lovely teachers have sent us that you could create for your, you know, your friends. This is from Karen Miller, Redbird Quilt Co. And she said that you could create a lovely little tree decoration. It's quite small in real life. So it's a little heart. So all you would do is make a heart and stitch it. But then if you're able to do your free motion quilting, this is all free motion quilting, all these wonderful feathers. But, you know, you could do anything on here. We've done a tutorial with blanket stitch, haven't we, on a little love heart?
Yes.
You could French knots on there. Do you know, if you're not particularly that great, you could even just glue some things on there. You could put a little picture of that and a pliqué picture or something on there. But I just think to give someone a little tree decoration that is a little heart like that is so lovely as a gift. And as I say, if you look at our tea time tutorials, you will find a heart like that is a blanket stitch around the edges. I'll put links in the video. This one, now this is from Rachel. She's Australian. She's called the Barefoot Crafter. There are going to be 2 links underneath. I think one is already there on our YouTube. Let me just check what I'm seeing on our, yes, it's sharing. Fantastic. So Now, Rachel, she's done two blog posts. One, I think, is the 12 days of Christmas, and then one was other gifts just to make. And I'll put the things there below. But there are some wonderful things on here, Gary. Now, can you see this here? Can you see my little arrow?
The little teddy in like a little sleeping bag or a bed.
That reminds me of your little sardines in a tin.
Oh, yes.
That was a
Sardines in a tin.
great gift. That is available to rent on our shop as well on the website. I'll put the link below. But little sardines in a tin. That's a little mini quilt and a pillow. How sweet for a child
That's
to
so
make
cute.
something like that. So
yeah, I love it.
You've also on our channel as well, Gary, made something like this. You did it for brushes, but we've got pencils. So these
we've got that, and I think that the wrap it's a free download, isn't it? That one. I think the wrap to put like pencils or brushes or anything like that in is a free download for anyone. It's a very quick little make, so that's a really nice little thing. Just a couple of scraps of fabric, and just you could hand stitch or machine stitch it, and it's just a lovely little extra present that you could fill with. You could buy a box of pencils or felt tips and actually load it up ready to go.
Exactly. And I'll put the link in this video later, so people can just click on it and watch that video if they would like. But you've got all sorts of things. I mean, I just think, little boxes of sweets, and then maybe these are little memories, or whatever you want to put in. I remember that my cousin made me the best birthday card ever. I opened it, and on the front there was just a picture of me and her as kids. And she's not, a particularly crafty person, so she hadn't done anything to it. It was just a picture, and underneath she'd written, happy birthday to my wonderful cousin. And when I opened it, all this stuff fell out, all this confetti, and then she'd put lots of little tiny pictures inside. Honestly, it was one of the best things I've ever received. So you can do things like that. This is a really cute idea. Now, I'm sure that this is maybe bought, but I was thinking, if you got a box, if you went to a little haberdashery and you bought a little packet of buttons, or maybe there are some little, taster reels or little, mini things like this, anything that's miniature version, I think is so cute.
Yeah, lovely.
So that's a great idea. So, but this is just a picture from her blog. If you go into the blog post, she actually gives you details on how to make all these things as well. So
that's nice.
Really, really
lovely.
Good. Now, Janet Clare said, what about giving people badges, or just, something they could, if they've got a pinny or an apron, they could pin onto their aprons if they are sewists or whatever. But if you've just done a bit of hand stitching there, you could do some free motion on there, but just little mini badges for people. So
that's nice. And Janet she's always about her badges on her apron, isn't she? That's what she has. It's part of her thing. So I love that.
So that's a great idea.
So simple.
Now, this is the bigger picture in Rachel's blog. So here's once again the little miniature version, which I think is so cute. But if you had any spare wools, for example, if you've got wools and things in your collection, maybe you could actually take some of that wool, wrap it into little balls, put a little bit of string around it, and put that into a box. So you're sharing a bit of your collection.
Well, that would tie in. I'm almost I don't know if I've ever told you all the story of when my grandmother bought me in. I had measles. I was about 7, something like that. And she bought me the shirt box full of scraps for a project. Yes. Now you could make a little project box. So my nana gave me, it was a shirt box full of all sorts of haberdashery and fabric she passed it to me and said, right, you create something with this. But what you could do is on the same theme like that is actually just get the box, and then you could put little swatches, scraps of fabric that were for a project. Maybe it's to cover a journal cover or something like that. Just a really simple little project in a box to give another creative person, or someone, could even be a young person, that is showing a willingness or a potential to be creative, and just say, look, here you are. Maybe we make a date to have a go at making something with all this. That would be nice. So it's sort of like, it's a gift of things you've got around in your studio or in your crafting room, put them together with a project in mind, give them to somebody and say, why don't we have a date in the new year and make something with this?
Yes, such a great idea.
That would be nice.
It's amazing. When you start thinking, there are so many great things that you can do. So many great. I thought that was really cute as well. She just made like a little pocket pouch there, and then she'd put in, I think these were versions of her family or something, and then she'd put the crowns on or whatever. So
lovely.
Little pouches, these are always great to make for people, of course. And then she's popped something in there, and that's a great idea, a little coffee card. So if you were going to have that date with your friend, you could put in a voucher for a coffee shop or something that is near you, and you've paid for the coffee. So that's nice.
Yeah.
The other idea was Sarah Ashford. She had said, did I say Sarah Ashford?
Yes.
Do you know something? It is Sarah Ashford, isn't it? Not Sarah Ashwood.
No, Ashford. Yes.
What do I always want to call her? Sarah
You've
Ashford.
renamed her.
This Ashford. Sarah Ashford. She was talking about making something for your sofa. So this, of course, has got sewing tools in, but if you could actually fold that over your sofa arm, and you could have your remote controls in there. So if you know someone who is into their television, you could make something like this for them so they can put their bits and pieces in for the television. Lovely. This is great from Janet Clare. It's a little pincushion. So she's done a little bit of cross stitch. I mean, how simple is that? But it's a pincushion.
Lovely. So, that's nice too.
Simple things. Simple things. So if I stop the share now. And, other ideas were, I'm going to put, like I said, I'll put some links underneath because Jennie Pickett from Clover and Violet on Instagram, she suggested a cord keeper and key fobs and things like that. And she said she's got some free tutorials. So I'll put the links there. Coasters, and then tree decor, as you see in the little heart. But also, as we know, Gary, we've got a great little tutorial, which of course, the little Christmas boots.
The boots. The Christmas boots.
Those are really great to make for people. And we make that. I mean, you could make that in 20 minutes easily. And pencil cases, pouches, badges. So, I mean, when you and I first said, let's talk about what we could make for people. My instant reaction as well was jams. I mean, I think any foodie things is good. You could bake cakes or cookies, wrap them in a lovely bit of fabric and a ribbon. So I think any kind of foodie things. But then I thought, okay, and then maybe that, and then maybe a zip pouch. And I was really like, oh. But just within 20 minutes, it was amazing getting all these ideas from our lovely tutors. So thank you to our tutors. And as I say, I will put links below so anybody can make anything.
And if you haven't linked or spoken about it, they have a look in the shop. There's loads of free little how-tos there. I was just thinking about Janet Clare and the brooches. Remember the zip brooch we did? We've got that in the shop, which is another little free download. So if you've got any old zips lying around that you want to think, I don't know what to do with these, there's this lovely little brooch, and that would be a nice little extra present to do as well for somebody. So
we've actually got 3 full classes to watch here on YouTube for free. And like you say, we did the zip brooch, we did the chicky egg covers. Oh yeah. And then I think we did another one. I'm sure we've done 3. Third, but there's some lovely things here on YouTube, so do have a good look around our channel. But as I say, there'll be some links underneath as well. So there you go. I did my homework, and now I think it is over Florentine. You may continue now, Gary.
I haven't got any Florentines.
There you go.
That looks lovely. Oh well, okay. So
dark chocolate. Oh, yum. It gets stuck in your teeth, though. I can't talk now, Gary. Take it away.
Right. So I've cleared my I've cleared my cup of tea away because I want to show you something which I've made. Okay. So I'm going to bring it into view. So we go into view. So it's this. Okay. Woo! This. Woo! So now what it's for, I'll show you. So the clue is I've got a napkin and I've got my cutlery. So So this is for Christmas Day. This is for the dining room table for my Christmas lunch. And it is to hold a napkin.
Oh, love it.
So you put the napkin in there. So you just push the napkin in. Actually, I'm going to make the napkin a little bit smaller because there we go. Look, a bit of napkin folding going on here. Right, that goes in there. So the whole thing.
Swan there, Gary. I would have hoped for a napkin swan.
No, you don't want anything too complicated, right? Because the beauty is in the holder. So you can put your knife and your fork, your spoon, your knife and fork. And actually, the idea started was I wanted something. So I've got my niece, my great niece. I'm at that age where now I have not great grandchildren, but great nieces. So I've got a great niece. She's like under 5. And so it's just to entertain her at the dining room table. So just put that on the table with her cutlery in. So she feels she's a bit special. It's a bit more than a cracker, isn't it? It's a bit more. And it's nice and something she can take away. I mean, you could, I'm filling it with cutlery, but you could fill it with sweets or whatever, or little gifts inside there. There could be the cutlery, but you've still got room inside to put a little gift that they could open as well. It is so easy to make. And though I've made this in a red felt, white and holly, you could, because I know sometimes by this point in the year to go and get some red felt can be like, oh, we've sold all our red felt. Then do green or do another color or do white with a color on the top or something like that. It could be a snowman glove. It doesn't have to be a Santa glove at all. So if you can't get the red, think about another color. It could be a white glove with a color top. It could be green. So whatever you wanted it to be. Now I have sent you the PDF. So please, everybody, Rachel will upload this as soon as we finish recording.
As soon as you finish, uploaded to our website.
So you can download this. So you'll download the pattern. I've given you some instructions. We're going to do the little bit of blanket stitch around the outside, which you could go back to one of our previous little YouTube chats and cups of tea. And when we did actually discuss doing the blanket stitch around the outside. So you could go back and have a look at that. But anyway, you've got all the instructions, but I'm going to quickly go through with you anyway. And you've got the pattern to download as well. So you've got the pattern and just cut the pattern out. It's all there, really, really simple. So if I'll just put that, I'll take the cutlery out because I want to show you. And I'm going to take, because I've just only pinned this little bit of holly on there at the moment. I will stitch that on, but because I wanted to fold it back to show you the whole inside. So when you cut your pattern pieces out, you're going to cut 2 gloves. So you've got 2 bits of glove, the glove shape cut in red felt. You're going to cut you could cut 2 pieces of holly, one slightly smaller than the other, and you're going to cut a berry. Now, the berry in this one is actually just a little covered little shirt button. But if the person that's going to receive this, maybe little bits that come off and could be swallowed or in the mouth, might be a little bit too dangerous, then don't cover a little button, just cut a little circle of red felt, and that might be just a little bit more safe as it is. The little cuff, that if you look at the pattern here, is cut on the fold. So you're going to cut the cuff on the fold. So you're going to cut it on the fold, and so then it opens out like that. So that's the whole cuff that's going to go round the glove. All right, so the glove to start with, you're going to you can hand stitch or just machine stitch. I've used machine stitch. You're just going to stitch probably about half an inch down the side here. I've done 1/4 inch seam allowance all the way around the pattern. It's already there included, but really it doesn't matter if you go, maybe a different seam allowance around. It's entirely up to you, and depending on who you're making it, you might be making it for somebody, or you might gather people around the table and you'll have a go at making one of them. Because always I like to have projects and these little projects that we do that are all inclusive for everyone, and I like the idea of friends and family all getting together and having a little bit of a make day. So anyway, you're just going to machine stitch there, and that, if you think, it just holds it together just at that point there. Then you take your little cuff, and you'll see that there's a shorter side and a longer side. The shorter side just fits on here, and you're just going to line it up to the edge, and you're just going to stitch, stitch, stitch. In fact, yeah, do it that way. It doesn't matter which way you do it. You could actually do it this way. You're going to just stitch, stitch, stitch all the way around. And it doesn't matter if it's whichever side it is, and you're going to stitch that. So then it is joined. Move that out of the way. Go away. So it's joined like so. Then you can join it together like that. So you've got it joined. And then you're just going to continue your stitching. So you're going to stitch all the way down, line it all up. You're going to stitch all the way down, all the way around, all the way around here to there. You might change the color, it doesn't really matter, and then you're going to just stitch up the edge there. That gives you, so this is why I've kept the other one to the side, that gives you that shape like that. Then you can do your blanket stitch. So then I just used a perlé thread. You could use a DCM embroidery thread. You could even just use a white cotton doubled up. And you just do a little blanket stitch. If you find blanket stitch too difficult, although I've given you, we did it as a tea time tutorial, and I've done a little diagram in here that you can just download. Don't worry if you can't do the blanket stitched round. You know, just stitched all the way round is just good enough. So you can do that. When you've gone all the way round, then you just roll the top down. That just rolls down like so. So you can see you've got a nice little cavity inside, and that's just rolled down just to finish the top like that. And then to make the piece of holly that goes on the top like that, all you've got to do is line up your the smaller piece of holly on top of the other one. And then you'll see I've just done a stitch through the center there. And then that just makes those two bits of holly almost go a little bit three-dimensional. One can stand up like so. And then either you can just stitch around the little circle of red felt and then pull the stitching up to trap a little button in there and then stitch that on if you want a little raised little piece of holly berry like that, or just trim the circle down and just have a smaller circle, stitch that through, and then just stitch that onto the side there, stitch that onto the side of the cuff of your mitten, your glove, and then you're ready to go. So it's really simple. I did this yesterday. I mean, okay, I'm used to sewing and things like that, and I literally cut it out and made it, and it was in 20 minutes. And it doesn't take very long, but as I said, it could be something that you did as with young people. You had your young little people around you and said, come on, let's all make gloves for the dining room table, or to go under the tree, or to fill with chocolates. It's a different version of having a stocking on the bed, isn't it?
Yes, I absolutely love that. I love it. Honestly, so simple. I mean, in a way, it's very much like the boot, because you're going round the edges. And so I know that that's very achievable because I made that. So if I can make that, I can make that. But I love it because it's so effective. And as you say, if you've got little children, you know, such fun, you know, to give them something to play with. But I think also, if you've been super generous, of course, you could let people take home their mitt, and then they would always remember, you know, your lunch that you've created. And, you know, if you think about if you were going to go and buy those in a shop, they would be quite expensive. But I think if you were to get the field, you know, Philip, for our Christmas dinner. If you were to get that's the Queen, by the way, but we're thinking who's Philip. The felt pieces. I mean, you could make them you could, you know, work out, if you wanted to be cost effective, you know, the tightest sort of space you could have for your cutlery if you wanted. So I think that's a lovely idea, you know. Or you could make miniature versions with these, you know. As I've said, you could put a little miniature little bottle in there, or you just literally make mini versions and leave them on the plate and say to people it's your little gift. I mean, people go, wow, straight away people have something to talk about. So I think that is a lovely idea. Genius.
You know, the easiest way to do a miniature version, if you want to scale up, scale down a pattern, so you've got your pattern, you get it like this, A4. You can do it on your home printer scanner. You can reduce the size of the scan. So you put it in scan, and you do scan to try 75% to start with, because you think, oh, I'll do it by half. Half is quite small. So start at 75% of the original size. If you can't do that, just pop down to, in your high street, quite often you've got someone that does photocopying for you. So just say to them, can you just photocopy that once? Can you do it 75%? And you'll find that it will reduce in size, that it'd be small enough to then use and then just hang it from the tree. And the other side, the other way works as well. So if you want to make it bigger, you want to make much more of a bigger one because you want to put maybe more gifts or something in that, then increase it. Take it from A4 to an A3 size, or so that would be, I think is it up by 133%, something like that, if you want to do it. So yeah, it's quite easy to do it. Once you've got a scanner printer, you can just put it on there.
Yeah. Super. Super, as the French would say. Super. Yeah, brilliant. It's a great idea. It's a great one. Gary, you are just, what's the word? Well, what did I say once to you? A crisp amongst crisps. Yes, and I'm not quite sure.
You've got to explain. You must explain now, because now you've said that, and I know the story behind that. But
yeah, my husband just said to me once, you're a crisp amongst crisps, and I was like, what does that mean? But I suppose it's a crisp amongst, you stand out. You're a crisp amongst crisps. You stand out in the bag. Yes,
because there's always that lovely, massive, big crisp that you get within all the other.
You are the massive crisp, Gary. I was going to say I want to get you out the bag and nibble on you, but that would be a bit weird. Anyway, Thank you so much, lovely Gary, and thank you to our lovely Chew-Ubers, our Chew-Ubers. It's been nice having you, and please do hit the subscribe button, please hit the like button. It really does help us get out into the algorithm, apparently, allegedly, who knows, but it would be nice to have some likes. We do get likes though, actually, Gary.
Yes, we do. I see that. We do. I go and have a little look and think, oh, how many people have liked that last video? And there's all the, like, these thumbs up. So that's good. Thumbs up, definitely. Yeah. Just hit the thumbs up button. If you can make a comment, a nice comment, please. Yes. Subscribe. Go to subscribe so that you know when we're coming live or that we've produced a video, because once we've done live, it always goes up recorded so that you can view it at any time. You can go back and view it, so you can listen to us all again if you want to.
Yeah, so it would be lovely, and that's what's happening now. People are, as I say, there were people waiting there for the little the thing to go live, so that's fantastic. So thank you so much, and thank you to our lovely Gary. Of course, our tea time tutorial will continue next week. We're not going live next Friday because Gary is in class all day on Friday, but we are going to record on Thursday. And do you want to talk about what we're doing next week, Gazza?
Okay, so we're going to record, we're going to pre-record, and it's going to go out live on, well, it's going to go out on the Friday. Yeah. And we just thought it's time for doing a little bit, maybe thinking about a little bit of journaling for the new year. So it's going to be a journaling, and maybe it could be hopes and aspirations, it could be plans, or it could be creative thoughts. And how do you do that in journaling? So we're going to talk about journaling. So I'm not calling it sketchbooking, because I think that is a whole other load of things that people could think about doing. We're going to call it journaling, but it's going to be a little bit of mark making, a little bit of collage perhaps. Yes, that's what we're going to do.
Exactly. So that would be nice. So all you have to do for that one is have some, well, it'd be nice if you had a little book, but just, you know, some paper will do, because you can then stick back to a book if you wanted. But I think I have my felt tips on hand. If you've got little watercolors, that would be good. Like you say, anything that wants to tear in there.
A glue stick, a glue stick, scissors, tearing.
Yeah, so we'll do that in our tea time tutorial next week, but they will continue. So thank you so much, lovely Gary. Thank you to you, YouTuber. I am now going to end the sermon. Here we go. I'm going to press the button. So everybody have the rest of a lovely day. Get creative and remember gratitude. Do it right now. Do it right now. End this video. Sit there and go. Say out loud 3 things. Then think a stream of things, then stop being able to think of the stream, but just feel that feeling, make it burst and open your eyes. Push it out there into the world. I'll tell you something, good will come back to you. It will. Right, we're off. See you next time, people. Bye.